I don't think I have time. I don't think I have time for this, man. There's like 600 games out right now, and every moment of my life that I'm not playing a video game feels like it's wasted. I'm playing them on the shitter. I'm playing them in the shower. I'm playing them every place that you can play a video game right now.
Oh, what's out? What's worth? What's the skinny, Jeff? Tell me what I'm missing.
Well, I'll tell you what you're missing is the fact that Alien Isolation is so goddamn long, I can't finish it. Welcome, everybody, to the Rage Select podcast. As always, I am Jeff. And
I'm Jason.
Yep. Yeah, actually, last night I got confused because The Evil Within has 14 chapters and Alien Isolation has 18 chapters, but I got confused and I thought that Alien Isolation had 14 chapters, and so I spent like 2 hours. I was supposed to record today. I was trying to get some sleep. I was like, man, I got to be close to the end of this thing. But that game is like fucking Lord of the Rings. It just keeps. You're like, okay, surely this is the last chapter. Nope, surely this is the last chapter.
Man,
this is the last chapter.
God, Jeff, I'm so sorry.
What's that?
Your life is tough.
I know it's hard.
It's so hard. let me hold on. I'm gonna check under the couch cushion here and see if I can find a fuck to give.
Did you?
Nope.
Did you find one?
No fucks.
You didn't find any fucks?
You don't get any.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Yeah, these are a lot of times I have to stop myself and go like, I think I might have the most first world problems of all time.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, I just got my Oculus DK2 and they just announced the new fucking prototype. Damn it. Ah, shit.
Yeah.
Life is shitty.
Meanwhile, in Liberia,
that's right.
Liberian shit party.
That's right. So, have you become more or less concerned about Ebola over the last couple of weeks? You had a couple weeks?
It waxes and wanes, like the tides or the moon, only more erratic. It's creeping closer to Austin, man.
Yeah.
A few more cases popping up here, a few more there. It's been like 2 weeks now, so we haven't had like an explosion of Ebola, but the incubation period is like 3 weeks or something like that. And I think they said that, this person in Belton, small town not far from here, may have the big E.
Okay, what? Okay, let me ask you this: if you were to, if the Umbrella Corporation came to you and they said, we have a surefire inoculation for Ebola. It's in this test tube. I know that it's green and it's glowing, but if you just let me inject this into your neck, then you will be safe from all Ebola. Would you let the Umbrella Corporation help you with this?
Give it to me, man. I've always wanted to have a glowing green liquid injected into my neck. That's some bucket list material right there. It was like that. What am I? T-virus? Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, I've always wanted to have one arm that was just made out of eyeballs with spikes growing off of it. Because that seems like I kind of want to make a commercial for like Umbrella Pharmaceuticals, and at the end where they're like, side effects may include eyeball arm or head that breaks open into another face on the inside.
Yeah. Oh my God! If I turn into like Nemesis or whatever, oh Lord,
that's going to be a weird podcast. Just stars.
There will be a mighty reckoning.
Where are you going first? Where will you turn into Nemesis? Where are you going first?
Gathering of the Juggalos.
Gathering of the Juggalo. But that's how long is that? Are you just going to sit in your house as Nemesis in the giant jacket, just like playing PlayStation, doing the podcast until the Gathering of the Juggalos?
I'm gonna walk across country like Nemesis Forrest Gump.
Nemesis Forrest Gump. Well, I tell you what, before we get into the news, this is usually the part where we run down what we've been doing over the course of the week. I don't have a whole lot. Do you got anything, Jason? You done anything interesting last week?
No. I don't really leave the house much lately.
Yeah, you were at the bar on Saturday night, and you guys left at like, what was it, like 12:30 or midnight?
Yeah,
something like that.
You guys are boring. You guys are so fucking boring.
We were watching a show, man.
I know. Yeah. No, it was good. And then it was like, hey, you want to go home and play Minecraft? Yeah, sure. We went home and I went to sleep. That's what happened. No, going out As of this recording, I will have gone out this weekend, and we hung out with Daniel Hood.
Yep.
One of our writers. And he was a real son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He was oh God, never again. Never again.
As of the recording of this, I still have to hide most of the piles of bones and the goat carcasses that we keep around here for the shows. I gotta close that door and put down the wall hanging in front of the room, the one that in the basement with the drain on the floor.
Get restock your lye.
That's
your
right.
Supplies and no, I've just been working on some Rage Select projects. That's eaten up a substantial amount of my time.
Here's a question. Did you watch The Flash? The Flash debuted last week or whatever.
Haven't seen The Flash. Heard it was fun. Haven't seen Gotham. Heard it was shit.
Yeah.
So haven't seen any of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. since episode 6 of season 1 because it was boring.
It was really boring.
I've just been watching scary movies.
Oh, anything in particular stand out? I might have to ask a podcast question. Somebody was like, "Hey, it's going to be Halloween. What movies should I watch?"
I've just been watching ones I already have seen. Like I'll put them on in the background while I'm working. And so I watched, Salem's Lot. I watched Halloween 3, Fright Night, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Invaders from Mars, which is terrible. What else? Brides of Frankenstein, Brides of Dracula, my favorite Hammer film, by the way. And what else? I watched another. Phantom of the Opera. Watched that.
Okay,
the Hammer version.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, does that? I was thinking it was like the musical version. I was like,
no, fuck that. No,
one of these things is not like the other.
No. The old Hammer horror film from the 60s.
I watched. We talked about this, but we never talked about it on the show. I watched Pontypool last week. I was
God,
looking around YouTube and I'd heard that one was good, and boy. The first 70% of that movie was really good, and I liked it quite a bit.
And as I put to you when we were discussing it, the movie does not just go off the rails.
No.
It catches fire, goes off the rails, and crashes into an orphanage. And gives everyone in the orphanage cancer.
I was talking about this I think it was on the live stream a few weeks ago, I don't know. I don't remember. My whole job is talking. I can't remember what I said yesterday. I can't remember what I said an hour ago. But I was talking about the ending, how hard it is to nail down the end of a movie, right? Lots and lots.
You got to stick the landing.
Yeah, and the best movies out there, I can still enjoy a movie that has a shit ending. It's just kind of like, it just deflates you a little bit, right? Where you're getting all puffed up and then you're like, oh, all the air kind of comes out of you.
Yeah.
But I like their take on zombies.
Big fart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Their take on zombies was good. But yeah, that ending, it was just like, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it was like one of those things where a bunch of people are sitting around in a circle and it's like, I start telling a story and then you're like, yeah, and you add on to the story. And then Aaron's sitting next to you and he adds on to the story. And then Allison's sitting next to him and she adds on. And then Grant's sitting next to Allison and then Grant says something fucking moronic. That's what happened.
I thought you were going there with that.
Yeah.
I was like, who's going to be the one to fuck it? Oh, okay.
Grant.
Yeah, it was kind of like that because, it was going along pretty well. And then it was just like, oh, you guys didn't know. You didn't know where you were going. You were just like coming in every day with new pages like, I don't know, do whatever.
How about this?
Yeah.
I got this idea off of the back of a bottle of Thousand Island dressing. Just fucking random idiocy.
I tell you what, I actually just remembered one more thing that I want to talk about before we get into the news. We got a pretty heavy story here first in the news. But before we get to that, I've got... you say stuff on a podcast, and Jason, it's weird. You say stuff on a podcast, and everybody doesn't just listen to you and do what you said on that podcast. Last week... And I'm not going to do this.
Did that guy told to kill himself not kill himself? Because
no.
It's against the rules.
Yeah. No, last week...
You are to obey.
Obey the Murphy. Last week, there was, and I'm going to be very vague about this, and don't you jump in here with your specifics, Jason Murphy. Last week,
I probably wasn't paying attention anyway.
Some stories on Facebook that have to do with the Avengers and Phase 3 and new Captain America movie and casting, and a bunch of them in the title had a couple of words that basically just told me like what that whole movie is going to be about, because I'm familiar with comic books. And it was just like, can't you fucking write a news headline that doesn't tell you? I mean, if you're familiar with comic books, it doesn't just tell you everything. I mean, not everything, but like, I don't want to know the arc that it's based off of, because if I'm familiar with it, I can make certain assumptions about the goddamn movie. It was just supposed to be casting news, for fuck's sake. Like,
Jeff, you're gonna know the title of the movie.
I know.
What are they supposed to? Is everything supposed to be like Cloverfield?
Yes, everything is supposed to be like Cloverfield,
where you just have no idea what it's about because it's all a code name, and hey, let's just keep the code name through release.
Yes,
no, you're being a bitch.
No, okay. Hey, listen, you can't tell me. I like it better when I go to the movies and I'm surprised by what I see. Right. I like that better than knowing what it's going to be going in ahead of time. And I hate that shit. I hate it so much. I don't know.
It's the title.
Is it? Is that the title?
I don't know, but if they're giving away the title, they're saying, hey, it's going to be, okay, let's say, for instance, that you see, and I'm avoiding your Avengers example because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's say if you see a Star Wars movie, and there's a Star Wars movie coming out, and it's called Star Wars The Clone Wars. Are you going to get pissed about that?
No.
Oh, I didn't want to know it was about the Clone Wars.
No. But the thing is that just the phrase The Clone Wars doesn't, well, okay, I guess it does if you like read the comic books. I don't know. It's too much. I don't know why we got to know every single thing before a thing happens. There's just things that you end up knowing before you go to see a movie, and I just prefer to see that stuff in the movie or even in a trailer instead of on some movie news website. I don't know. I sound like a bitch to myself saying it. I just don't want to. I don't want to know that movie's like a year out. And I already now know details about it just because of these news stories that came out about casting and rumors and stuff like that. So
yeah, see, that's the thing. Movie news. Let's get to the deeper truth here.
All right.
Movie news, specifically movie news websites, are bullshit. It is such a wasted Ouroboros of eating its own poop. Okay? It's movie news and bloggers, and hey, most of my friends are bloggers, and their jobs are fucking stupid. I used to do it, and I realized pretty quick, hey, this is fucking stupid. Because everyone is regurgitating the same little nugget. A lot of it's made up. A lot of it is made up. Because by the time the movie comes out, nobody's going to remember that filmdickhole.com said, oh, it's going to be about the Atlantis attacks. And so the last issue is going to have fucking Gilgamesh and the Beast in it going up against the Lemurians. And, nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to call them out and go, movie site, you're wrong. Because there's a different contradictory Star Wars rumor that comes up every day. Every day. So all of these rumors, most of them are wrong.
Okay.
Most of them. I know some of this for a fucking fact. Because I see some of this stuff that's getting posted. I shouldn't say anymore.
Okay.
On that part, I shouldn't say anything.
No,
I just know that some of this stuff is absolute, complete bullshit. It's just people just make it up, and then everybody latches onto it because they're so hungry for news, and they're so hungry to get the stuff out there first that they don't fact check. They don't even care. They're just like, hey, rumors. They're all fucking wrong. And if it's correct, they're all regurgitating the same goddamn press release. Every one of them. So movie news sites are bullshit.
Okay. I just looked it up. this is not the subtitle of this movie. This is like I'm not complaining about. You mean
tell me what it is? Just tell me what it is.
You didn't see this last week about the Captain America?
I don't know. See, that's just it.
Yeah.
I saw so much crap about superhero movies getting announced, and I'm just like, well, I don't care. Whatever. I'll see the movie. And yeah.
Well,
it's just irrelevant because it's probably going to change or it's going to be incorrect.
Yeah. I don't know.
Go back. If you could find a post about the Avengers.
Yeah.
From 4 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
There's probably so much incorrect stupidity out there because one inconsequential site decided to make it up to generate traffic, and it worked, and then everybody else, all of the quote-unquote legitimate movie sites, started regurgitating it.
I don't know. I don't know if this is true or not, but basically, I mean, it's just talking about what storyline they're going to be using for a few of these Marvel movies, and I would have rather not known. I would have rather not known. And I'd hate to block the people on my Facebook who are posting this because half the articles were written with wonderful things in the headlines that didn't tell me anything. That was just movie news, right? But then other people are posting this and then they're saying, I can't believe that this is going to be blah, 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 blah. And I don't know how to avoid it. Some people out there, they're saying, well, just stop using Facebook. You're like, yeah, not really a thing.
It's not even just Facebook. In 2014, the way you and I live our lives, there's no not knowing anymore.
Yeah, I guess.
You got to be the Unabomber and like move to a cabin with a landline. Like an animal.
I like the fact that particular piece of technology is the thing that separates man from beast. Is like, does your phone have a cord on it? You fucking savage.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's I've gone out. I've made my Jeff is an old man complaint for the week. Next week, I'm going to complain about how it's too cold outside and those kids are too loud late at night. But from there, we've got to get into the news. We don't have a lot of news, but we do have a few stories that are big and that we're probably going to end up talking about for a little while. And the first one, this is I'm sure we've been sent a bunch of emails about, and everybody knows about, is our old friend Anita Sarkeesian is back in the news. And for this particular story, unless you've been living under a rock, basically this is how it went down. She was going to have an appearance at Utah State University, and there were people who sent in death threats. And because Utah is a concealed carry state, and for those of you who don't know what that is, it means that if you have the right license, you are within your rights to carry a gun in public, unless otherwise stated. Like there's places here, I don't even know how that works, Jason, because like there's whole shopping centers here in Austin, just they put up a sign that says like, yeah, you can't do that shit here,
right? It's different for every state, different for every business. Like you can't have a gun in a bar, which is dumb.
Because that's what we really need is to do shots and then take shots, right?
Yes, precisely.
But basically, the police at the Utah State University said that they couldn't. It was a little not entirely clear to me, but basically what it comes down to is that because of the concealed carry laws, they couldn't like shake down every person that came in there and then take any weapons that they had on them off of them, right? They could not ensure that a person who was legally licensed to carry a firearm would not walk into this talk with a firearm on them. And so that she felt unsafe and canceled this talk. And that has basically, we don't really talk very much about the whole Gamergate thing, but this is like it just keeps ratcheting up, right? It started out as a Zoe Quinn thing and we talked about it. And then there was Lee Alexander piece on Gama Sutra that I feel like stoked a bunch of people's flames. And then it seems like every other week we're getting a news story about somebody getting some shit thrown down on them or things like this. And now I've got people on my Facebook and on Twitter and things who are just saying, I've seen people say online, if you identify as a gamer, I don't want to have anything to do with you because you're a shit person.
But my friends have said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To your face. No, I said that one time, right? Is that what you're talking about? Is that time?
Dude, you couldn't know. Everybody knows what a piece of shit you and I are.
Well, that's true. But okay, let's get the immediately obvious out of the way, right? And let's make it emphatic, right? You're making death threats to people. You post people's personal information online, or just making fake accounts to harass a person that you don't like online. You're a piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
We're all on board with that, right? You're a piece of shit. And in the case of threatening people, you're like a quintuple piece of shit. You're like 4 pieces of shit all molded together to make a giant, smelly fucking Beozar of just horrible, obnoxious, bad person.
And it's like, exactly. And just, it's like I tweeted the other day, when you're doing this, and you're threatening her and you're scaring her away, whoever the her is,
right?
Whether it's whatever Wu or
Brianna Wu,
Brianna Wu or Sarkeesian or anyone, you know, who is campaigning, in this specific instance, campaigning against violence towards women and in whatever media, you know, if you are then threatening her with violence and so forth, it's like, that is the ultimate facepalm. I just like, what? You're proving her point.
Right, exactly.
It's like, again, as I put on Twitter the other night, it's like, you know what? If I get called a racist one more time, I'm joining the Klan.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. And the other part of this is that it only and it's really frustrating right now because I'm not. I mean, and I don't think you really have any opinions on this one way or the other. But I'm not exactly pro Gamergate, right? I'm not out there like, yeah, more transparency in journalism. I think there's some stuff to talk about there, but I'm not exactly out there banging on the drum, you know, on a daily basis, trying to get this particular point across. It's just that I feel like all of this stuff has gotten to a point, Jason, where you can't even have a conversation anymore.
No, you're absolutely right. Everything's become so polarized, and I mean, most people have read the story, and yet they still. I mean, what is it about at this point? I mean, really?
Okay,
you know, it's kind of a complicated mess right now because if you strip it down to what it's to the just the oversimplifying basics, being reductionist about it. The points, no one would disagree with those points, right? No one in their right mind. Well, okay, some of them are up for debate, but do we need better representation of women in video games as a whole? Just in the greater scheme of things, video games, capital V, capital G.
Yes. I'll go you one step further. The thing, every time we talk about Anita Sarkeesian on the show, right? I don't think we've ever had a show where we've said, like, I don't think we've ever just said you're wrong, like that there's nothing to talk about here and go away, you horrible woman. I don't like her I don't like the individual. I don't like the way that she packages her message because I feel that for people who aren't familiar with video games, they can look at that video and get the impression that all games are like the ones that she's putting out there.
Yeah, but well, I'm just stripping it down to its most basic.
But yeah, for
point the first, yes, we could agree.
Yes,
the second one: do we need more transparency in journalism? Yes,
I think that's fine. I don't
absolutely.
Yeah,
is threatening people with violence and murder bad? Yes, that's bad.
Yes.
We're all agreed.
There we go.
Problem solved.
And I guess I've been thinking about this for the last 3 or 4 days, and like I said, the thing that I want to see more than anything else is I want to see people having conversations about this, and I'm not going to put that all on one side or the other because I feel that when Anita Sarkeesian puts up a video and closes the comments for it, right, and disables all the voting and stuff, and she gives talks, but I don't think I've ever seen her in a debate with anybody. And if she's going to be the face of this, I just want to see people talking about it instead of this attitude that you see a lot of times of it's my way or the highway. And both sides, I feel like, are like that. And the whole thing is so much more complicated than just, you're this or you're that, or labeling people as 0 or 1. You're either with us or you're against us type of thing.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so dismaying to me that this stuff has gotten to this point, because I have friends, like we're talking about on Facebook, I've seen people on Twitter that are only just say I don't want to use the word casual, like filthy casual, right? But they're people who have a day job and they play some video games in their spare time. They play like 4 or 5 games a year, whatever. And the only impression they're getting out of this is that people are attacking this person. And I feel like there's probably a half dozen people maybe to point the finger at. I don't know. I just want to see more conversation and less, if you don't agree with me, I'm going to ignore you because you're a shit person. Because
and there's all this hyperbole, like you said, with people who generally have well-reasoned opinions saying, yeah, if you identify as a gamer, then I don't want to have anything to do with you.
I mean, it's weird.
And I'm just like, really? Well, adios, motherfucker, because it's look at my fucking office, dude.
Well, it's also weird to me because I don't self-identify as a gamer. I don't hold that up as a title where I'm just like, I am a
You're
gamer.
also a fighter, the warrior poet.
That's right.
Gentle lover. You're not one of those any more than the others.
I'm a midnight toker. That's
space cowboy. Wow.
But yeah.
So no, I don't know. I mean, I identify as a gamer, but I'm not just a gamer. You know?
Yeah, I think that all I'd like to see here is, and I hope that Rage Select, for the most part, I can't talk about YouTube because I don't really curate the comments on YouTube all that much, but I hope at least that here on the website that if we can talk about this stuff, that we can talk about it, and that we can all try to take a position where we're willing to at least listen to what the other side has to say and not let it just enrage you to the point where you're telling people that they're shit people and they should die, because that doesn't get anybody anywhere. It basically just turns this whole thing into a us versus them, and I don't think you get anything done when that happens. Of course, that is
you're making a plea for reasoned discourse on a podcast about video games that will go up on YouTube.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
I absolutely realized as soon as the words left my mouth, I was just like, the chances of this happening are next to 0. But
yeah.
You're
the guy who said she needs to get kicked in the cunt. And it was like, let me remind you. It was like several months. Oh,
I never saw that. I never said. I never said that.
You didn't. That was me. Never mind. Yeah, that was mine. That's on me. That's on me.
God damn it, Jason. It is lovely, well-reasoned argument. I think you just have to put a hand grenade on top of it.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
No, I've said this 100 times. Let's just move on.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, yes, people have been asking us about this, and the answer, in short, is try to be good to each other and talk to each other. Don't take Jason Murphy's advice, right? Don't let people who are just trying to tell you what to do, don't let them tell you what to do. But on the other hand,
wow.
Exactly. Try to keep an open mind and, have a conversation about it. I don't think either one of these sides is right. I don't think either one of these sides is wrong. But I think that if this shit doesn't de-escalate soon, that it's just I
don't know. I think the guy's saying there's going to be a massacre at the school. I think that guy's wrong.
Oh, yeah, no, that guy, yeah.
I'm pretty comfortable in saying that.
Once again, absolutely. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's cap this off. If you are telling people that you're going to do this shit, you are a shit person and a terrible person. And you're just, you're fucking horrible. So stop it.
You are a giant Voltron of poop.
Pooptron. All right, well, let's lighten things up from there to a decidedly light and cheery trailer that came out at New York Comic-Con for Powers, the new show based on the comic book on PlayStation. I'm sorry, that's funny because this trailer is dark as shit.
It's pretty grim.
So I'm familiar with I think the first 2 or 3 arcs of Powers. How
I have that's a gap.
Mm-hmm.
That's a gap in my education. I have
really?
I have read 1 episode of Powers.
Wow. Okay.
1 issue, rather, the first one, a long time ago. That is enough to know that this doesn't look like Powers. Like, Sharlto Copley does not look like the lead character of Powers. Like, at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not even a little bit.
Okay, I don't remember entirely, but I thought that, I mean, like in the trailer, they make a big deal out of the fact he's like, I don't have my powers anymore. And I thought I remembered in the comic that he still had some power. It was just, he can't fly or through the air or anything, but he still was like stronger a little bit than a regular guy. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember. The trailer looked interesting though. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm not, well versed in the comic, but that looks good.
I can tell you right now that while the Sharlto Copley character as the main character, Christian Walker, he seems a little bit different. The woman who's playing what I assume is Dina Pilgrim, his partner, seems much, much, much more severe. Is in the comics, that character was a lot more like Lewis in RoboCop. She's a little bit more wisecracking, but hardcore when it came to it. So right. I don't know. It looks good though. I mean, that trailer looked really cool. I'd like to watch that show.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm interested. God, just by the year 2019, every television show and movie will be an adaptation of a comic book.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm kind of okay with that.
I'm kind of okay with that as well. It is at least I still haven't gone back and watched Arrow. They've got
Arrow season 1 starts off a little rocky.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, we were hooked. Haven't seen season 2 yet. I hear it's great.
Mm-hmm. And then some people are saying that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. picked up after 100 episodes or however many they had in the first one.
Cargill kept telling me that. He's like, you got to get back into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You got to get back into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Randy and everyone else are going, no, you really, no, you don't. Just don't. It's so boring. Man, it's just, I just want to, oh man, this is one of those times where I want to sit down with 12-year-old Jason and just say, okay, listen, there's going to be a television show based on S.H.I.E.L.D. What? I know, calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down. It's just, let me finish. It's boring.
Why do you want to break little Jason's heart? Why do you want to
so that adult Jason's heart won't get broken?
Your heart can still get broken? That's adorable.
No, I don't even know where it is. I think Allison took it to the grocery store. Which reminds me, I have to text her to bring me some beer.
From the grocery store?
Yeah, she's there right now.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know though. But back to this thing though. Powers looks good. I hope that it's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I like Sharlto Copley.
And there's I'm having a hard time these days finding weekly television shows to watch, Jason. I've even given up on Doctor Who. Are
you crazy? This is a golden age of television.
Yeah, but I just like what? I mean, I like Game of Thrones. That's not on anymore. I'm watching.
I hear the season premiere for Walking Dead was good. I hear The Flash, in its first couple of episodes, has been really good. I have sung the praises of The New Girl many times. It's hilarious.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. You keep saying that. When you say it, it's like I just forget it. It's like you say that, and then my brain can't make the neurons connect between Jason says The New Girl is really good. Like my brain keeps banging those two things together, and they just won't stick. They just keep bouncing off each other. And it's like, somebody talking about The New Girl?
Oh man, yeah, no, it's hilarious. I hear Penny Dreadful was really good on Showtime. I've only seen the first 2 seasons. American Horror Story.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the third one to come out on Netflix.
I know, me too. Yeah, I haven't seen Coven yet. That's the 3rd season. But yeah, you've got Arrow to watch. Lots of episodes of that. I'm watching Twin Peaks right now for the first time.
Yeah, are you still with it? You still with Twin Peaks?
No, it's pretty stupid. I don't like it. But I'm going to finish it. By God. There was something else. There was another one. There's another good TV show that I was going to tell you about. And I can't. Oh, it's, of course, one of my favorite shows of all time. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah. They haven't put the latest season of that on Netflix, have they?
Not yet. I don't think.
That's the other problem is that I guess they put up that the BoJack Horseman thing on Netflix wasn't too bad, but when they keep putting out like a whole season of things on Netflix, then I'll just sit down and watch that entire season in 2 days. So
and I mean, that's just the stuff that's on right now.
Yeah,
dude, there's like 4 or 5 seasons of the Twilight Zone, the original.
Yeah,
and they're awesome.
I started watching
Outer Limits. I was watching some Outer Limits the other day. So good.
Okay,
so damn good. Yeah, just all sorts of older stuff. Rockford Files is on Netflix, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
I just want to watch the opening to Rockford Files, hear that sweet ass song over and over again.
Yep. Go watch Deadwood. The first 2 seasons of Carnival if you want to be really let down.
Okay.
Yeah, just all sorts of stuff you haven't seen.
All right. Well, we segued off into TV. Let's segue.
Yeah. We're not the TV dudes. Go to the tvdudes.com and listen to their podcast.
So next up, I don't know if you saw this last week, but basically there was there was kind of a ruckus, right? About Assassin's Creed.
Really?
About Assassin's Creed Unity specifically.
Okay. I remember.
And it's about frame rate at this point. Now I seem to be having weird conflicting reports here, but basically they were asking whether there was a report that said that Assassin's Creed Unity is going to run at 30 frames per second on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. And rather than trying to talk about, I mean, they did talk about the technical limitations, but there was also a quote from Alexandro Amancio, who said, "If the game looks gorgeous, who cares about the number?" And then there was another section where they were talking about, this is with Nicholas Guerin, who said that 60 frames, I'm paraphrasing here. This is what he said. This is in an interview. He was like, bitch, 60 frames ain't no. He said 60 frames per second isn't really important. He thinks that 30 frames per second looks more cinematic, et cetera, et cetera. And it's kind of become this question of, there's some places that are saying that Microsoft is putting pressure on Ubisoft to lock the frame rate on the PS4 so that it has parity with the Xbox One. There's some people I've heard some rumors that say that they're going to lock the frame rate on the PC. You remember back when we had that story about Watch Dogs and how Watch Dogs had all those graphical things that were locked down on the PC that they found.
Oh, right.
And they just kind of locked that. And I can't tell if this shit is true. Because we'll know very shortly. I mean, Assassin's Creed Unity is like 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away, something like that. But if this shit, if they're doing that, that's some shady shit, right?
It's that leaves a bad taste in my mouth, because if they are doing that, you know why they're doing it. It's because Microsoft and Sony leaned on them.
Yeah. Well, either that or they're leaning, I don't know, maybe they're doing it, maybe they're doing it voluntarily, but no matter how you slice it, I mean, especially for the PC crowd, PCs are, you could build a PC that's so much more powerful than either the PS4 or the Xbox One, that you should basically have an infinity slider, right? That just lets you, I don't know, what resolution do you want? I don't know, like 6 million by 4 million or something like that. Put it at 600 frames per second because I'm running a Cray supercomputer that's liquid cooled, and it's in a server farm in Nevada under the desert, or it's Skynet and some shit.
I don't know, this whole thing. You know where I stand on it with that. What was his name? Alexandro or whatever. Mm-hmm. He said, well, if it's gorgeous, who cares?
Yeah.
Precisely. Yes.
I just think artificially limiting something, especially on a platform, it depends. For me, it really depends on the PC, because as time goes on, we're going to have shit on the new consoles. It's going to end up being 30 frames per second. There was stuff in the previous gen. It's not like everything that was only 30 frames per second on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 was garbage. It wasn't. It's fine. It's fine for video games. It's just, if it's possible to do 60 frames per second and you're limiting it to have parity, that's a little troublesome to me, because
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Things should be able to run as fast as they are able to run. And because all that's going to happen is you're going to find the people online are going to find that switch, and you're just going to go, oh, look how much better it looks on the PC, just like they did with Watch Dogs. So, all right, next up, speaking of stuff that looks real good, you said you didn't, I mean, you didn't need to watch all of this, but there was a couple of Star Citizen videos that came out last week that were pretty hot, Jason. They're pretty freaking hot.
You sent me a video to watch, and it was like 11 minutes long. It's like, who's got that long?
Yeah,
I don't have 11 minutes.
11 minutes. What am I? The time man? I was trying to think of a. I could have picked any time superhero. Well, wait, hour man. What am I? Hour man. There we go. Finally got it.
It was nailed it.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, that was the most fun right there. Was the best part about that joke was watching you struggle to craft it.
Yeah, like a baby horse trying to stand up for the first time.
Yeah.
But no, okay, so there were a couple videos. One was basically showing the character in the ship landing on a planet on a big in the middle of like a big city, getting out, walking around, going to a store to buy stuff, and there was like other people in there. Seemed pretty cool. Something I've been wishing for since I was freaking 10 years old. Like this is the one for me, motherfucker. Fuck Alien, Colonial Marines, and all that bullshit. If Star Citizen turns out to be garbage, I'm going to be so let down. There was a second video that came out that I didn't even send over to you that was basically multiplayer. It had several people on the same ship. You could get out of your seat and walk around in third person while you're in the middle of a dogfight, like run to the back to get in a back turret and shoot the stuff that was behind you, so you could have 3 or 4 people in the same ship at the same time. Going around the universe, doing a bunch of shit, and one of these days there's going to be one of these videos where those dudes get on another ship and start shooting the people on there, and it's just like, it's everything I've ever wanted. And
here's my prediction.
Yeah.
Star Citizen will be garbage dick.
Don't say it, Jason.
I said it.
Throw some salt into your monitor. Throw some salt into Skype. Or where's the devil? I don't know where. So throw some salt at Twitter and
throw some salt at YouTube commenters.
That's right. No, come on. We actually have YouTube commenters that are nice, and we have some that are demanding jerk-offs. So
yeah, most of them are nice. Actually.
You guys can you know which one of those categories you fall into already. Like we don't need to name names. But yeah, I like this video. I really, if people haven't seen it, I think that it's something worth watching, because if they have a good number of planets in the game and each one of them has this level of detail down on the ground, that's sweet, man. That's cool as shit. And I
don't think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I know. All right, next up. Okay, so you remember what terrible garbage is, right, Jason? You remember?
Yeah.
And on this show, on a number of different occasions, we've reported on a number of different things that are just bad ideas that a lot of people have put money into that are probably not going to do anything. Well, this particular news story falls into that same category, and it's a brand new console, and it shares the stage with such wonderful things as the Ouya and the Amazon Fire living room Gary Busey console, or whatever it is.
Oh, that's a thing. I forgot about that.
Yep. Or I wish Kevin could come on because he could probably name. There was the Game Stick and all these terrible consoles that are made to run Android games on your TV. Well, Google's throwing their hat into the ring. They're putting out a $99 Nexus player that's one of these. Play Netflix, play Hulu, and they're also putting out a $39 game controller. Strangely enough, that has the exact same button layout as or at least the face buttons are labeled exactly the same as the Xbox 360 controller with the XYBA. And yeah, it launches November 3rd. Also, I forgot last week while I was out to pick up the PlayStation TV came out last week as well here in the States. Finally, we need to do a video with that shit.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. These Android games and who cares? Who cares? So I can play Candy Crush or whatever. No, it's the reason that I play games when I play games, which is rare, on my Android device. Is because
you're pooping.
Yeah,
you're pooping
because I don't have my PS4 or my Xbox in front of me.
Right.
Because I'm in line at the taco joint or something, and that's it. All it is just a pastime. That's all. It's not because I want to. It's because what else am I going to do? Talk to a human? Hear me? No.
Ew. Gross.
I know.
Ew.
I know.
They're
right?
made out of meat. It's gross. It's real gross.
Yeah.
They also care about like puppies and babies and stuff. But what this always it's funny. I hadn't until today we did the podcast I hadn't made the mental connection with what this shit is like. It's set-top boxes, right? They're still trying to make set-top boxes a thing.
Yeah.
It didn't work in 1998, and it's not working now. I don't think. You know what? I want to know. I want to know how many of our listeners own one of these things. Not a streaming box, not like a Roku box or the Google whatever that thing is that I've got that plugs into your TV. Not that thing, but like an actual honest to God, I want to play a video game on this. I mean, I know John owns an Ouya, but does anybody out there own one of these Amazon Fire things or a Game Stick or whatever that isn't just getting them to have one as a weird collector's item that they can trot out? Because it just doesn't seem, why would you do this when you could just go, I mean, how much is a used PlayStation 3? Or used Xbox 360 at this point. Like, how much is a PS2 at this point? You'd have better luck playing PS2 games than you would with these things. I don't know. It doesn't make any goddamn sense to me at all.
They just seem like such a waste. It's you're adhering to this old paradigm of hardware. Don't do that. I know you feel like you need something to sell, companies, but it doesn't have to be hardware. Be a little bit more forward-thinking than that.
Yeah, I'm just looking up here what GameStop will sell you a used PS3 for. PlayStation 3, pre-owned, 120 gig refurb, with 5 games, $199. It's like the cheapest one. You can get one that's not the 120 gig for $159. Yeah, I don't know why anybody would buy one of these things. It's fucking crazy. All right, finally, before we close out the news, so you remember last week, or those 2 weeks ago, when we were talking about the loot cave in Destiny, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay, I'm kind of done playing Destiny. I don't think I'll have a chance to get back to it until, March of next year, if that or whatever. But I gotta appreciate the way that Bungie keeps. Aaron was talking about this last week. That Bungie keeps. Like when they close the loot cave, they don't just patch it out. They have patch notes that tell a story about what happened to the loot cave, right? And apparently, in the first loot cave, they actually have in the latest patch. There's remains in the loot cave. There's like this bunch of dead guardians in there, and if you walk up to them, there's a prompt that says "disturb the remains." And when you do that, this spooky voice comes out that says, "1 million deaths are not enough for Master Rahul, who is the cryptarch in the city, right, who decodes all the stuff." So I like it when companies do this. I like it when they, instead of just being like, yeah, fucking shut that shit down, that they're like writing in reasons and adding little flavor things in there and acknowledging that a thing existed in the world instead of just getting rid of it and there's no trace of it ever
that's
happened.
Pretty clever. I mean, it really sounds like that they are committed to this being not just a product that is released and then patched a few times and then they move on.
Yeah.
But that it's something that they're trying to extend the lifespan of and get people to stick with it for a while. If they're doing something like this, that they're probably, going to have an ongoing rollout of content.
The thing is,
and I know they've hinted at or said as much.
But. No, we haven't even talked about it, Jason. There has been an ongoing rollout of content for Destiny. Yeah, I mean, Aaron talks to me all the time about different stuff that's going on. I know they had the first strike mission that came out a couple weeks ago, and they have like these 3-man raids that are just ridiculous, and they have all these like multiplayer. They've been. If you're playing Destiny, if you bought Destiny and you're into Destiny, apparently even once you hit the top tier, I mean, some people, like I said, some people in our review said you guys should have kept playing beyond the end of the story because that's where the game really opens up into more active stuff. and I don't necessarily agree with that. But if you're playing Destiny, apparently they've been doing everything they can to keep things happening. I mean, Aaron was telling me the story about the thing he had to do to get this one epic weapon, and it was like a 4 or 5 part thing, and some of those parts would be like go do 3 strike missions at the hardest difficulty level in order to get to the next part of this quest chain or whatever to unlock this weapon or whatever that you got. So
yeah, and it's all still just dudes in armor shooting other dudes in armor.
That's the part where I don't necessarily really want to go back. Is the shooting felt good, but I got about 8 hours of shooting in me before I'm like, Yeah.
It's like, okay, we released this one song that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, here's an entire album, and some groups do this. Here's an entire album, and this is what Destiny is. Here's an entire album of remixes.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is, remixed by DJ Suicide.
Oh,
here's the same song remixed by Junkie XL.
Oh, guess what? Here's the live one. Here's the one that we recorded at our live show in Los Angeles.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't care.
It's like, oh, we're going down this same road on the moon again, and there's going to be a different dude at the end. Oh, it's just so repetitive.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate what they're doing. It's not for me. It takes something really special these days to make me want to continue playing a game past about hour 18. Right? I've got about 18 hours for your game, but after that, you're really going to need to have something that's just exceptional, something that people are going to remember, something that people are going to point out when they're talking about the coolest things that ever happened in video games to get me past about hour 18 to 20. And I'm still reviewing stuff, and we're going to review, and it's not like when Dragon Age Inquisition comes out that I'm only going to play it for 18 hours and then just go, all right, well, that's enough. I'll play it all the way to the end. But if I'm going to ever go back to a game, it's got to be something really fantastic that I haven't seen before. So, but that is unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your outlook, all the news that we have for this week. So we're going to take a break. When we come back from our break, we are going to answer some of your emails. So stay tuned. mail@rageselect.com is the address, and we'll see you back here in just a few. Everybody, we are back, and it is time. Now is the time, and here is the place. Your questions, our answers, coming directly into your ear holes. What do you think? What do you think people listen to this podcast most often, Jason? Is it? I think it's on the bus, in a car,
I don't know,
at their desk. You think they're just sitting at their desk at work?
I hope it's before they make sweet love.
I think it's while they make sweet love. I think
even better.
All right. This first one comes in from Dude Approved Bud. Okay. Who says, Dear Jeff and Jason, this question is mainly for comics expert Jason, but all opinions are welcome. I was just wondering if you could settle a debate I find interesting, or at least give us all some added perspective on the issue. Who would win in a fight? Who would win in a fight, in parentheses, fair and realistic, between Spider-Man and Batman? Fair and realistic, meaning you can't change their personalities or add/take away any powers. Now, wait, we've got a whole other paragraph here. Please use examples where possible. Batman is known as the smartest man in the room, but Spider-Man is a genius in his own right. Batman tends to use stealth and fear to intimidate and subdue his opponents, but those abilities won't work against Spider-Man's spidey sense. Spider-Man's main weakness are his loved ones. I don't see Batman willing to exploit innocent civilians just to win a fight. Would he? Take those things away from Batman, and he is left with a super strong, super fast, genius opponent with his own brand of gadgets and devices, and who is just as/very close to as stealthy as he is. I think Batman would win, which seems completely to be not what he was saying, but I think Batman would win. But by luck, because Batman has luck like Han Solo, and if Peter Parker doesn't have bad luck, well, he wouldn't have no luck at all. What are your thoughts? Hail the dog lord, Dude Approved Bud. So, as the resident comics expert, Jason, what do you think? What do you think?
That's a tough one.
Yeah,
I've thought about it many times.
Mm-hmm. They keep you up at night. You just sitting there.
Sometimes I wake up with weird, random thoughts like that. Like Yeah, like I tweeted a few weeks ago. I woke up in the middle of the night, rather disturbed because I could only remember two of the Warriors 3. Yeah, that's it. It was. I woke up at like 4 a.m, like Hogan, Volstagg, and shit.
Yeah,
Hogan, Volstagg, so I had to look it up. I had to like grab my iPad and look it up.
So now previously you and I have established that in a fight between X and Batman, Batman wins, right? But
yeah,
you're a big fan of Spider-Man.
I am.
What do you think? Maybe it could get. Can we answer a draw? Can it be a draw? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I mean, I get the impression that, if you really pissed Spider-Man off and he was gunning for you, he does have super strength, right? But on the other hand, I guess so do some of the people that Batman goes up against. And
yeah, I mean, Batman is taking out Darkseid,
right?
So it's tough because I think Let's look at the rules here for the beatdown, right?
Right.
Okay. Batman, extraordinarily resourceful. They've made him into this, uber god, smartest guy in the room, never loses. I can only think of a handful of instances where Batman's got his ass kicked. I know there are a lot more than that, but the way he's been portrayed in the last 10 years or whatever.
Yeah,
he's nigh invincible just because he's so resourceful.
He pulls out a box that says bat spider repellent on it, and he holds it up, and Spider-Man turns into a quivering mound of goo or whatever.
The latest issue of Batman really illustrates that, and it's his resourcefulness and planning and all that. It's really good. You should check it out. That said, hi, honey. I'm going to answer this question.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably the nerdiest thing that I've ever responded to. So I hope that I still have unfettered access to your vagina once. Because I was hoping I could answer this question before Allison got home and she walked in.
Oh, okay.
She walked in on us having this moment with our friends here.
This is worse than if you were just watching porno or anything. Actually, I can't even see. I don't even know if that would be a problem. But
what'd you say? Why are your eyes rolling from space? Why are your eyes rolling? Yeah. Actually, me answering this question will probably just get her all hot and bothered.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, ready to put the sex on my penis. Yeah. So now that said, right?
You need to write greeting cards, Jason. Happy Valentine's Day, baby. Put your sex on my penis.
I've got a whole stack of them. Just Hallmark they took out a restraining order on me. Okay, so all that stuff about Batman, right? He's super resourceful.
Mm-hmm.
He's usually ready for anything.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not ready for anything, then he'll damn sure be ready for round 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Spider-Man,
on the other hand, he just doesn't quit.
Yeah.
He's got no quit in him.
Yeah.
And I mean, hell, there's an issue from a while back where he beat the hell out of one of the Heralds of Galactus.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was Firelord, because Firelord pissed him off and started like he was hurting innocent people or something like that. And you got that indignant Spider-Man rage where he just goes all out and he's just this, he's coming for you. Nothing's gonna, he's not gonna stop. Or like when he beat the goddamn Phoenix Force a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay, here's for my own. I think that it would have to be. I think that whatever the end of this fight, whoever wins, it's going to be a psychological victory, right? Because Spider-Man's spider sense should keep anything that Batman throws at him from hurting him physically, right? And
sure,
Batman's a kung fu badass wizard or whatever, so Spider-Man's not going to be able to land a punch on him. So I get the impression this fight ends when Batman's like, yeah, I know who you are, Peter, and I'm going to tell everybody if you don't stop trying to kick my ass.
That's yeah, I could see that. But yeah, you're right in that I don't see, Batman like harming innocent people, which flips the rage switch.
Right.
But I'm going to go with Batman.
Yeah. Yeah. As much as I hate the whole Batman is the best and nothing
that's
can
how
beat
they've set him up.
That's how they've set him up. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's I hate saying it, but yeah, that's probably what would happen.
Okay. All right. Looks like Batman is our answer. Next question comes in from Tony K, who says, Dear Jeff and Jason, when it comes to science fiction, be it film, television, or video games, are you fine if the creators have no limitations in the science of the story, or do you prefer science fiction to adhere somewhat to actual scientific principles and theories? For example, your thoughts on sounds and explosions in space, time travel stories, and blatant paradoxes, etc. And on a side note, what exactly would one use to be baptized into the Church of the Mighty Dong? I hope it's Scotch. Thanks for reading. Sincerely, Tony K. I think it'd have to be Lone Star. I mean, well, maybe I don't know. Just dip your head into. You got to be submerged. Look, if we're gonna submerge you full body, like the Mormons do that, right?
Should I even say it?
What's that? Say it.
No, it's too gross.
Okay.
Sure, we'll go with Lone Star.
Where are you going to get that much? You're going to have
the Lord will provide, Jeff.
You're going to have to go to Japan. You're going to have to go all the way to Japan to find that much. No, but I don't. For my money, as long as it's a good story, I don't give a shit. I like science fiction. I like science fantasy. I think they're both fine. I like it when Star Wars has, and I think that 2001 is actually kind of boring. Sometimes.
Oh, me too. Oh, 2000 boring. 2001 is excruciating.
Yeah.
It's excruciating, but I think there's room enough for both.
Mm-hmm.
I like both. The ones that are just crazy out there sci-fi, like Halo,
right,
or whatever. I mean, wait, I don't really like Halo though, so it's okay. Take that one back. Destiny was all right. Destiny was cool. Like Star Wars, that's outlandish and not based in science or whatever. Explosions in space, I don't have a problem with that, because in any sort of entertainment medium like that,
mm-hmm.
sometimes you have to sacrifice reality for fun.
I'll tell you what though, the whole explosions in space thing in Firefly. That was really striking whenever they would show the outside of the ship.
Yeah.
And they would have the soundtrack going, but they would never have like beep, 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 that stuff. That was really striking, but it doesn't really bother me. I mean, it's not like I go to Guardians and say, well, you remember when Gravity came out a little while back and there were people, there was like this, Neil deGrasse Tyson was out there going like, that's not how space works, and it was just
I know,
it's fine. It's fine.
The news. Oh God, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Don't get me started on him. I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back with me, because we as a society, particularly the United States,
mm-hmm.
Need more science in our day-to-day activities. We need to embrace this just as fervently as we do our hatred of whatever, that needs to be something that it should be proper hygiene. Mm-hmm. Exploration into science should be as regular as washing your hair and brushing your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
That said, Neil deGrasse Tyson has propagated the science of smug condescension.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just every time he opens his mouth, he's just kind of smarmy, and he's turning into that one atheist friend that is just like, well, if you're going to believe in something stupid like Jesus, am I right, guy? It's just like that snarky, smarmy, and it's like, I agree with what you're saying, but how you're saying it, you kind of sound like a dickbag, Neil. Also, I tweeted at him, and he didn't respond.
Damn it!
Yeah.
What kind of jerk doesn't respond to tweets? Says
I know.
A man who's never even favorited a tweet in his life, because
I asked him at Neil Tyson, is Slender Man real?
Uh-huh.
And he didn't even bother answering me.
That means yes, I'm pretty sure.
I think he's afraid to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he doesn't want to draw the Slender Man's attention. Lest he become a proxy.
Right.
Or whatever the fucking terminology. I tried playing the Slender Man game on Xbox last night, and I got bored within like 15 minutes. I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah, horror. Yeah, there's a whole conversation there about horror video games that we've had several times off the air.
So science.
I don't. Yeah, if you're telling a good story, I don't give a fuck. Set it in Rainbow Unicorn Land, and everybody flies around on clouds and they breathe caramel. I don't give a fuck. If it's a great story, it doesn't. I mean, you look at when you talk about science and realism. What, Jason, you could probably speak to this, right? That like 90% of the shit you see in pick any cop drama show.
Yeah.
Not even remote. That's fantasy. That's more fantasy than going to hyperdrive, because that's not the way. Because if you made a movie that was about actual police work, it would be boring. It's a job and it's boring, right?
Or CSI.
Or I'll give you one better. I'll go more generalized. If guns worked in movies the way they work in real life, it would be so boring because, because nobody would ever hit anything, or they would take a long time to land their shots, or you would have to show them training for 8 years in order to be able to shoot a gun. Anyway, this next one comes in from our good friend Jiu-Jitsu, who says, "Hello, Ragecasters." And I like this question a lot, Jason. It's something I hadn't really thought of because I'm willing to just jump into technology ass first. I, for one, am terrified of wearing the Oculus Rift. Yeah, it's VR and you can move your head around in 3D space, blah, blah, blah. But given my, quotey fingers, God-given Jewish neuroses, I can't stand the thought of essentially choosing to be blind, or even worse, blind and deaf with headphones to my surroundings. For all I know, something could happen without me seeing and hearing it. Do you agree with these sentiments? And if so, are there any other reasons why wearing the Oculus for extended periods would be a bad idea? Jiu-Jitsu.
You can't live your life in fear.
That's right. You gotta. Some days I just go outside. I get in my car and I'm like Jinx from G.I. Joe. I just put on the thing over my eyes, and I trust my other senses to make up the difference, to hear the oncoming traffic, the honks and the screeches and the crashes and stuff like that. Now, I can kind of understand what he's saying. It's just, I don't know. I do make sure I lock my doors before I put the Oculus on. That's the
specifically, before you put the Oculus on, Oh, that's awesome. Jeff.
But see, what's interesting is that, you've been to my house and you've tried it out. You've played with it for like 10 minutes or whatever. But I've played like 2.5 hours of Half-Life 2 with that thing on. Just never, just straight, right? You got headphones on, you got it on. You get all immersed in the game, definitely. And I don't necessarily, my brain doesn't keep tapping me on the shoulder going, hey, there could be a murderer back there, because I kind of think there's always a murderer behind me. Like, I'm always ready when I turn around for there to be just some dude with a knife, or a Spider Woman, or I don't know, Slender Man, whatever.
Well, you got to have a spotter.
Mm-hmm.
Always have a spotter when you use the Oculus.
I imagine my dog is, imagine Professor Dog is the spotter, but he just comes up and he's so well-mannered that he's just sitting beside me, like trying to get my attention. He's not putting his paw on me or anything.
He's like, I know you're busy doing work things, but there's a werewolf coming up the stairs. Like, werewolf. I'm sorry. Werewolf.
Right. I know I haven't. And maybe it's just because I'm too stupid to be paranoid about that sort of thing, where I'm like, yeah, you know what? The ceiling of my house could fall in, and then Ebola, could be whatever. Could be anything that kills you literally 24 hours a day. And if you focus on it too much, then, Plus, there's a very good chance, Jiu-Jitsu, given my own particular reflexes, and I don't know about you, Jason, but like whenever anybody is like, think fast, and they throw something, I turn just in time to see it hit me directly in the face. Or sometimes I'll even try to like dodge out of the way as I'm turning, and all I manage to do is put my face in the way of whatever it was that I was supposed to be thinking fast about. So there's a very good chance that somebody could burst in here with a gun, and I could end up shooting myself with it in the process of trying to get away from them. Like, I don't even know if seeing the danger coming at me is going to do anything, because I'm no good at life. I'm better at games than I am at dodging danger in real life. So
you're not even that good at those.
Yeah.
I think you need to work on a disaster plan.
Mm-hmm. Need to get
maybe like a slide going down from that window in the studio. Because there's only one way out of there, really.
Like one of the like one of those airplane slides, because I'm on the second floor in Casa del Rage Select. I'm in the second floor, so yeah, I could just pop open the window and then pull a thing, and it would like shoot the screen out and then inflate one of those big slides, and I just go whee down to the street. But you know what would happen, right? You know what would happen? I'd have a Christmas party, and before that shit was over, that slide would be inflated, and we all just be taking turns going down the fucking escape slide.
Christmas party? Hell, you get that? And I would do it the day of. The day you installed it.
Like, I imagine this scenario where we're sitting here recording and some crazy person breaks into my house where it's like, oh shit. I turn around and I'm like, quick, to the slide. And I pull the thing and you just go, you mean that's been here the entire time? And you
I would
never
be so mad. I would be so mad.
And then we get murdered by whoever it was that broke into the house. I mean, hell, I'm at this particular point, I've got headphones on and I'm facing away from the door. There could be a person standing right behind me. All right.
Not a lot of those going on around Austin.
What, home invasions?
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, I remember I was watching some TV show with some crazy people on it. They were talking about when people get their houses broken into. And I realized that the time when people break into your house, I don't go to sleep until like 6 o'clock in the morning. So if somebody wanted to rob me, if they were waiting for all the lights to be turned off in my condo, they would be waiting until like 8 a.m. when I finally trudge off to sleep, at which point it would seem like a really dumb time to try to rob me, right? Like,
man, if only you had a friend that you talked to multiple times a week who had studied this and maybe done a television show about how to protect your home.
I know, right? That's what I was saying. I seem to remember something about that. Yeah, it was funny when I saw that. For those of you who aren't getting this joke, that was on Hacking the System. I'm
the friend.
Is there any way where for them to see the first 2 episodes of it? Is it streaming anywhere?
I don't know. If you guys find one, tell me because I want to see them.
Okay.
I think Brian's got them. I should just get them from him. But yeah, no, there's no. I don't think they're streaming online or anything like that. You'll have to wait till the eventual, knock on wood, DVD release,
Blu-ray, the HD DVD release. Oh my god, I can't wait. All right, Jason, our next question comes in from Carl, and Carl's asking us this is a difficult question. I figure we tackled some difficult subjects before. This is kind of in the same vein. And Carl says, Dear Jason and Jeff, reviews for the latest installment of Bayonetta have been hitting the web. From what I have seen from popular sites, the game is the best thing since sliced bread. However, none of them seem to talk about the elephant in the room, Bayonetta herself. In a time where video games and other media...
Well, she's busty. I wouldn't call her an elephant.
In a time... You've seen those new elephants at the zoo. They got at the Austin Zoo.
Sexy elephants.
In a time where video games and other media are trying to become more representative and inclusive, we don't seem to be doing ourselves many favors, specifically with places like the UK where females are over 50% of gamers now. Surely we shouldn't be giving games like Bayonetta 2 a pass without being heavily criticized for its bullshit regarding its main character, which seems warranted even more so since she has gone unchanged from the last game. That's not entirely true, but it just seems like a step backwards and more fuel to certain folks who like to cherry pick video games to justify their argument. Carl. So yeah, there's I feel like with Bayonetta, Jason, there's a larger question involved, right? I think that for the most part, we've had characters in video games that are sexy, right? Characters in video games, movies, fiction. We've got sexy lady characters that are out there. And going back to what we were talking about in the beginning part, I don't know the answer to this question, but I would assume that we're not out there advocating that nobody can be sexy anymore, right? Nobody's saying, are people saying that? People want to kill the sexiness off for everybody?
Well, no. Mm-hmm. People are not.
Okay.
I think... I don't know. This is tricky.
Yeah.
I don't think that we need to eliminate sexiness in video games or even stupid, blatant adolescent, sexiness that appeals to adolescents like Bayonetta
or like say Lollipop Chainsaw is another
or Lollipop Chainsaw. Yeah. No, I mean, see, games are a medium, and I think there's room enough to have games that are just puerile and idiotic and then there's still room for thinkers and games that morality tales raw escapism. There's room for all of that. It's just the problem is that right now, most of the females that you see in video games, and I think it's getting better, but most of them are just objects. They're all scantily dressed. What was the Shadow of Mordor?
Mm-hmm.
You meet this warrior woman in Shadow of Mordor, and I was playing it, and Allison pointed out, wow, she's appropriately armored.
Mm-hmm. And she doesn't take any shit from anybody. She's the leader of her people in that particular section, both her and her mother, and the queen as well, right?
And it was a fantasy game where the warrior woman wasn't just wearing like a steel nipple covers or something. Allison's posing right now, and it's very hilarious.
Well, the same. I was thinking about that the same way. You remember when we were playing The Evil Within, and we got to the place where you wake up in the mental hospital, and there's the woman there who's the nurse, and she's not a sexy nurse. She's just a nurse. Just a nurse lady.
Tomato.
Or wait, is there such a thing as a non-sexy nurse, Jason? Is that a thing?
There is?
Oh yeah,
yeah. But some people, not me, but some people would watch Silent Hill and go, those nurses, they're terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
I would also have sex with them.
Well, okay. So what I'm assuming, right? What I assume that most people's problem with Bayonetta is one mechanic, right? And it's the mechanic where her clothes essentially come off and they turn into the giant hand or dragon or whatever it is that her hair, because in the first game her clothes were made out of her hair, right? In this one she's got short hair. I don't know how that factors in. I haven't played the demo.
Short hair up top.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
But what I found really interesting about this question is that it actually raises a certain question that is a good discussion topic, which is if we think that you should, that at no point in video games, or if we think that the problem with Bayonetta is that she's too sexualized, right? She's got her hair, clothes are coming off, all the reticles at least in the first game were like kissy lips, and she's got, she kind of slinks around like Catwoman or whatever. You start to get into a little bit of a problem where you say, what is the appropriate amount of sexiness that is apparent, that is at this point allowable, and who gets to decide that?
No one gets to decide that. That's not a decision that some tastemaker gets to choose. It's you, the consumer, should get to choose. And I think you need to have the option of a lot of choices. I think that level of sexiness in Bayonetta is stupid and tawdry. Mm-hmm. So you know what? I'm just not going to play it.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, that looks dumb. And a lot of it is because of just the rampant, her clothes turn into monsters, and she's naked. It's just fine. Some people might like that. I don't want to take that away from them. Mm-hmm. I think it's dumb, so I don't want it, but I don't think it shouldn't exist.
Well, see, I, on the other hand, enjoy Bayonetta, and I think it's actually interesting that a lot of people that don't like Bayonetta have never actually played through the first game. Because
I haven't. It's just that aesthetic that annoys me.
It's because I thought that the first game, okay, let's put it this way, right? If you were to take the first Bayonetta game, right, and just remove the clothes coming off mechanic, right, and she uses magic and then a monster comes out and beats somebody. There's no stripper pole thing, and the kissy thing is gone. Just take a few things out, right? What you're left with is a game with a lady main character who is empowered, doesn't take no shit from nobody, saves the world, has an interesting kind of moral backstory, all in this kind of really creative fantasy game. And it's so much getting hung up on like this one piece of that game that it's like, I feel like a lot of times the rest of it just gets thrown away because...
Oh, Jeff, now you're just being a dumbass.
Oh, okay. Am I?
You really are.
Okay.
You really are, because that's like saying, Manson masterminded all these murders, but everybody's getting hung up on that and looking past the fact that he was a talented musician.
I don't think that's what I'm saying.
That is what you're saying.
I don't think that's
Nobody's going to remember Bayonetta for its gameplay mechanics except you. The fact of the matter is that those things are still there, and that the tawdriness is still. That is still the thing that is the most prevalent thing, and it is right up there, front and center.
But that's really troubling, because that means that if any video game or movie or piece of fiction or anything that is created has one thing, has all these things that are good, and this one thing that some people don't like, that's the only thing it's going to be judged on. The one thing.
No.
I mean,
I disagree, because Metal Gear Solid 3, as we've been playing on our playthroughs, check those out on Saturdays.
Right.
Metal Gear Solid 3 has some gratuitous, moronic, also slightly comical, oh, look, boobies moments.
Right.
But nobody remembers Metal Gear Solid 3 for that, because it's not as out there up in front as Bayonetta is.
But, I mean, let me ask you, if I don't know. I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, I just don't know that I agree with that. Is that it's I feel like it's just dismissing all the rest of what's in the game. I mean, if you could take Bayonetta the game and just remove all of Bayonetta out of it and make it a game about a third-person action game, it would still be a really solid game with solid mechanics and a solid storyline.
Great. You know, if you could forget the whole Tate LaBianca murders, and you listen to What Is Your Game, Girl by Charles Manson, you're like, oh, it's kind of a catchy song. I like it.
Are you saying that Bayonetta being sexy is the equivalent of people getting murdered in their house? Is that what we're doing at this point?
I'm talking about the fact that, no, people aren't dismissing the other good things, but the big stuff is kind of getting in the way. It's obscuring all of the other good stuff. It's like, Bayonetta, you're a good game, but all of that dumb shit just gets in the way and distracts from the real quality. It's, you know, if you don't want to talk about murder or whatever, most people won't watch Punch Drunk Love because it's an Adam Sandler movie. Mm-hmm. It's a really good movie, mm-hmm. but it does have Adam Sandler in it, and that's all you really can think about.
I don't know. I've played Bayonetta. I liked Bayonetta. And if that makes me a shitty person, then
it doesn't make you a shitty person. You're looking through that. I'm just saying that everybody else, the big thing is going to get in the way, and that's the fact that it's just it's ludicrously sexy. And again, I don't think
is it. I mean, we played a game this summer out of Japan where the primary game mechanic is running up to people on the street and ripping their clothes off. That's a game. That's a game that exists.
That's fucking horrible. I'm not saying that because Bayonetta has that mechanic or that element that I don't like. I'm not saying that nothing else is bad. Mm-hmm. There are different scales of bad. It's not binary.
I guess it just seems weird to me that there's like 12 hours of gameplay in Bayonetta and all anybody talks about is the close off thing.
Well, again, it's like because the most prevalent thing is the ham-fisted sexiness that looks like a fucking 13-year-old thought of it.
I don't know.
It's like I see Bayonetta and I think, oh God, it's like a 90s comic book cover.
But you've never played the game.
I haven't.
But how can you make this judgment without even like sitting down and playing the game?
I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying based on the looks of it, that is not for me.
Okay. I don't know. I like the Bayonetta franchise. I'm looking forward to playing the second game. I don't think
it's probably fun, but I just think it's distracting, and I think it gets in the way of the real quality of the game by having something as fucking juvenile and stupid as tits thrown in your face.
On that particular kind of leg of the argument, what advertising for Bayonetta 2 have you seen that has been throwing...
Bayonetta 2, I haven't seen any advertising for it.
Okay.
I haven't seen one thing at all.
So, if I hadn't told you specifically that was in there... I don't...
I would assume it was like Bayonetta 1.
Mm-hmm. But having not played Bayonetta 1, you only know about that because it's like that one part of the game has been
from advertising and stuff.
I guess. I don't know. Well, at least Core is coming out, so that's same company. At least, one thing about never mind. Let's move on to the next question. Get flustered.
I mean, the point of this whole discussion is that you're a fucking pervert.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting at.
I think that we can agree on that. I think that we can agree. I'm a fan of Bayonetta, and that makes me a pervo number one. So
you are disgusting sleazeball.
All right, let's see. This next question is from Russ, and I don't know if this is one that we've answered before, but I thought that it was an interesting question. He says, "Hey guys, quick question. Sorry if you answered it already. What character in a long-running game series would you like to see get their own spin-off series exploring more of the world from the games but unrelated to the main storyline? A game based around..." I'm sure he's taking your answer here, Jason. Garrus or Thane in the Archangel days of Assassin Life between Mass Effect 1 and 2 with a similar moral choice system would be pretty fun to play with an emphasis on sniper kills. Garrus's Sniper Elite game style. How do you beat that? Keep up the good work. Your fan, Russ.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty good. There was also, who was it? The CIA guy in Far Cry 3.
Oh, yeah, that fucking crazy-ass
lunatic
weirdo.
He was great. Far Cry 3 had some great characters. Oh, man. But my answer, do you want me to go first or you?
I'm still thinking.
Okay. My answer is Irish from Red Dead Redemption. It's all a game about fondling horses' balls.
I don't know. I was trying to think of somebody in Red Dead Redemption that you could use, but I couldn't. And then you found it. You found it.
Irish. Or, hell, I would play a DLC that's all just about the crazy dude who liked dead people. We're playing from his perspective.
Oh, God, what was his name?
Can't remember right now for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. That guy, that guy was pretty crazy.
But like a horse ball fondling mini game. Yeah, I'd give it a shot.
I think I'd like to see. You remember? God, what the hell was that guy's name from Grand Theft Auto 4? That was like the total roid head, the total like steroid crazy guy.
Right.
God, what the hell was this? Let me look it up here real fast. I think that guy has some stories, and I kind of want to see Tales from was he? Tony was Baldigay Tony. God damn. Brucey?
Yes.
Brucey. Yeah. I think that would be a good one. I don't know. I honestly think that instead of just making a million different sequels, that the idea of taking one character from a video game and then following them into different areas that you haven't been to before is a great idea, because you're able to skip so many of the like when they run out of bullshit to do and they decide, oh, this one's going to be a prequel, but all the weapons are better for gameplay reason, or for whatever dumb shit that we thought up about why all the weapons should be better, even though this takes place 10 years from before that. You know what I'd really like to see? I want them to do a spinoff of Alien Isolation where you play as the one alien, but you're on the Predator home world. The Predators are all trying to kill you, and you gotta use your your wily alien senses. Just because I'm gonna go get that alien killed a whole bunch of times, be like, yeah, how you like me now, bitch? All right. Let's see. This next one comes in. This next one is too long. No. This one's just for you, Jason. This one's long, but it's just for you.
All right.
This one comes in from Kiros. Kiros says, "Hail, Count Jason and Duke Jeff. I come before the altar." Oh, sorry, it was misspelled. Altar of the dog, and prostrate myself before the Lord of Schlongymite, with hope the testicular scales find my pleas worthy of his firm wisdom. These are getting longer. They're only getting longer. In all the years I've been playing video games, it has become a bit of a pet peeve with me that weapons in video games are so underpowered. Shooting a guy with a machine gun should reduce said enemy into ground beef. Skulls should explode and faces implode from a hit with a Morning Star. Striking character with a steel sword should cleave unarmored limbs or pierce simple armors. A lightsaber should neatly bifurcate an enemy and not behave as if I am merely hitting him with a neon glowing pool noodle. I want to see flesh ripped from bone and guts being spilled on the sands of the battlefield. It would seem that if weapons were made more deadly as their real-life counterparts, that perhaps developers would have to rely on making enemies more intelligent. It would seem if weapons were made more deadly as deadly as their real life counterparts, then perhaps developers would have to rely on making enemies more intelligent and skilled rather than sending waves and waves of nameless plebeians to charge us mindlessly or stand around waiting to be killed. I've also grown tired of seeing NPCs take such damage from weapons and then come away looking like they had a fight with a cat rather than a knockdown, bone-breaking, jibs-fleeing, gore-splattering, visceral combat they were supposed to have gone through. So, do you think we will ever get to see realistic damage dealing in video games or realistic damage models on characters? May the blessing of the Dogfather, etc., humbly, Kyros.
That's a good question, Kyros. And yes, I would like to see that within measure. Mm-hmm. Again, it's one of those things that I mentioned earlier is that sometimes you do have to sacrifice realism for fun because there are some games where you can put realistic damage on, like you, and a lot of times it's on yourself. Yeah, like in Rainbow Six Vegas,
Arma 3.
Yeah. And that can be really frustrating. But I would like to see, the bullet and the damage done and bullets, work like bullets do, and where you get shot once and then you slowly bleed out. It's that I think that has its place. But again, if you do that too much, it just becomes it becomes you're taking the power fantasy out of it, Mm-hmm. And I think, again, realism has its place, and that can be interesting, but it can also be very frustrating and boring.
Actually, when he's describing this, my mental image of it is incredibly horrifying. It's kicking open a door in a first-person shooter and shooting a guy in the guts, then having him fall to the ground and go like. I mean, how long does it take to die from getting shot in the stomach? Right, like forever.
Yeah. No, that sounds awesome, and I want to play that.
or seeing what
I want to play that. I want to play finally the storming the beach at Normandy that feels like those first 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan. Because I've seen a lot of horror movies, but that trumps them all right there.
I don't want to play Dark Souls where when you hit somebody in the face with a mace, I do want to do that. I'll tell you what. I want to cave in monster heads. I don't know if I really want to play a game where something that looks like a real person is charging towards me and you hit them with a mace and then like they're fucking sitting on the ground with half a face. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
For some reason,
honestly,
that whole thing makes me queasy.
I think, I don't know. I think that could change people's perception of casual violence in video games,
Very possibly.
People who honestly, people who sit there and say, yeah, I want to do that. And then they do it and they're like, oh, God, I didn't want this at all.
Are you speaking from personal experience? Because the first part of that example sounded a lot like when you and I played Bulletstorm here.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of fun. But once you see that stuff in real life and I don't know, if you make it too real, suddenly it could become not fun. Because having seen, fortunately, a little bit of extreme carnage in real life, it will stick with me forever. And it kind of fucked me up. And so if you have that realistically portrayed in video games, you might not be so cavalier about wanting people to see people getting shot in the face.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, we got two more quick questions. The first one comes in from Carlos. Carlos says, dog-related salutations, gentlemen. So the other day, my wife and I were discussing CW's DC shows and what villains could and couldn't work in their more realistic setting. This led to us coming up with absurd, over-the-top, gritty versions of campy characters from days of comics past and got me curious to hear what madness you fine folks could come up with. To put this in the form of a question, if you could take any campy comic book villain, doesn't have to just be DC, and turn them into an overly dark, realistic, and gritty version of themselves, who would it be? How would you alter their origin? And how would you translate any powers or quirks they might have? Thanks for your time. And as always, rage on, loyal fan and patron Carlos.
Okay, specifically villains.
Well,
a gritty villain.
I'm gonna open it up to whatever. I'm not gonna stick with villains. You go with whatever.
Okay,
go with whatever.
All right. You sounds like you've got one then.
I got one. I got one for not villains. I want to see Actually, I just thought of it when I was reading the question, but when I was picking out questions for the show, and the more I thought about it, the more it stuck with me. And it's the Creeper, like the Nolan version of the Creeper, where you basically have somebody that is like somebody that's kind of not necessarily exactly like the Heath Ledger Joker, but like a crazy person, a dark fucking fucked up in the head crazy person who just happens to fight crime, kind of like the Punisher, but a crazy person who goes out and fights crime, where like even the people who got rescued are really fucked up and creeped out by this person. I want to see the Creeper. Yes. I want to see the realistic version of the Creeper.
I want to see the dark and gritty reboot of Squirrel Girl.
I was just about to say that as well.
Yeah. Maybe she's raised by a squirrel cult out in the woods, and they infect her. She has to be the bride of the squirrel god, and that is every bit as horrifying as it sounds. Some weird Lovecraftian shit where there's just chittering all around, and she's fixated on foraging for nuts and stuff like that. Some crazy homeless chick with a furry tail. Telling everyone that she's the bride of the squirrel god and keeping this brood. She's pregnant with a brood of squirrels.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
That's absolutely horrifying. Crazy Quilt also always deserves.
Crazy Quilt. Snapper Car.
Yep. Snapper Car. The gritty,
He's just some asshole
snapper car
with OCD.
Oh,
snapping his fingers raw in an alley somewhere because he thinks if he doesn't keep snapping, the Justice League will die.
You know what actually would be really cool, which I would like to see if they're going to keep up with this dark and gritty Superman universe that the Zack Snyder Superman that I don't necessarily care for. But I think what would be really cool, and I don't think that it's been. I think that he's out there from time to time, but I think they could probably find a way with what they've done to shoehorn him into that universe. Would be a big, ugly, powerful Bizarro who's just fucking like unstoppably powerful. Like give Superman a run for his money. Well,
they've done that in the comics before, making Bizarro dark and creepy, which I think that's a cool idea, depending on the tone of your film. I think they could do it in the Man of Steel universe.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of any others. Is there? I think
you got to make him like a fucked up clone or something. Don't have him come from Bizarro world.
No. I guess the thing is that it would be. Can you still make him talk backwards? Can you still have him not understand how that shit works? And then what was the
Absolutely.
other one?
Absolutely.
Captain Boomerang is fucking ridiculous. He's so fucking ridiculous.
He's pretty bad. We're probably going to be seeing him on Flash pretty soon if we haven't already.
Okay, I love the Flash and everything, but Flash has terrible villains. I think Flash's villains are so stupid.
Worst villains. Yeah, he really does.
I'm trying to think of like Wonder Woman's villains they're better. They're better than Flash's villains.
Slightly. I can't even name 3 though.
Green Lantern's villains. Yeah.
Also pretty inconsequential.
Does Plastic Man have villains?
I can't even think of any Plastic Man villains. None.
Oh, there's the.
But of course,
this
is all DC stuff. This is all DC stuff, and I'm a Marvel guy, so
Yeah. Okay. No, but there's your gritty reboot. There's your gritty realistic reboot right there. Fucking Plastic Man.
With special effects by Rob Bottin, the guy that did the effects for The Thing.
Yeah, there you go. All right. We got one more question here, and it comes in from Megu, who says, "Hello, Rage Select Gang. Non-video game question here. I'll be flying into San Diego next year for mainly PAX, and while there, I plan on visiting Austin for a day. My question is, having lived in the area for quite a few years, what are the best places to visit in your opinion? I only have a day for Austin, so standing in line for 3 hours of barbecue is out of the question." Good man, Megu, or woman, I don't know. Also, have you guys got any pub crawls or events planned for PAX South this year? Oh yeah, PAX South. Ray John and Praise the Dong.
No,
Megu,
we probably should, huh?
I think that we're screwed on that. I think that if it's already open to the public, it's probably 100% sold out, and we're not going to be able to get into there. I haven't looked, but it's January 23rd through the 25th in San Antonio, so they're obviously I can't tell. I'm on their thing right here. Can you get tickets? Probably not. I mean, the PAX stuff sells out immediately. Okay, you get a Friday and a Sunday badge, but you can't get a 3-day badge. They're already sold out. I don't know. Maybe I'll email them and see if we can get media stuff. I've never been to a PAX before, though, so I don't. Not sure.
Me neither. I don't know how that works, but if you're in Austin, let us know, man. Hit us up on the website or Twitter or whatever, and we'll figure something out.
But but we had a couple different people who were talking about coming through, and just kind of the question of where do you go? What do you have to see while you're in Austin? And I
don't know that there's anything you have to see. I mean, Austin's biggest culture is its bar culture, and also then second to that, maybe a very close second, is its food culture. Other than that, I don't know what. Go to the lake or some dumb shit, whatever. I don't know. But there are some great bars. Some of my favorites, some of my favorite bars. I like the Nomad. I like Casino El Camino. I like Casino South. Rio Rita. I like that one a lot. As far as food goes, plenty of good barbecue for you to get. Just go to Rudy's, man. Just do Rudy's. Tex-Mex. I like Maudie's. There's some other fancier restaurants. I don't usually hit those, though. Plenty of delicious breakfast tacos. You got to do some breakfast tacos while you're here. That's like every street corner.
Yeah.
Get a burger from Hop Dotties or again Casino El Camino.
Are Casino burgers any good still? It's been forever.
Dude. Yeah, they're amazing.
Because I know that I used to go there a long time ago, and then they started getting a little bit.
Yeah. No, they're giant and greasy. It's good stuff, man. Still is.
I'd say, let's see, if you could find anything going on down at the Paramount. That's not a bad thing to do. I'm actually looking up.
Yeah, it's a movie theater. Vintage theater. They often have live shows there as well.
If you can get yourself over to the botanical gardens down at Zilker Park, those are not the Zilker Park proper, but the botanical gardens, incredibly beautiful. Or go around the hike and bike trail around the lake downtown. The bats. Watch the bats
go
come
see
out.
The bats, sure. Go to pinballs.
Yep.
If you lots of pinball games there. What was another one that I was going to say in that?
No, fuck the Paramount. Go if you've never been to an Alamo before. I think that Alamo. Sometimes there's problems with Alamo, but by and large, if you've never been to an Alamo Draft House before, it's probably worth going to one of those.
And we have Austin has some of the best comic book stores in the world.
Mm-hmm. Do you know of one, Jason? Can you recommend one to the people out there?
Yep, it's a smaller one, but it is Rogues Gallery Comics and Games in Round Rock, Texas. If you want your mind blown by sheer size and variety, check out Dragon's Lair and Austin Books.
Okay. Yeah,
because those are just staggering in what they have.
Oh, I can't go to Austin.
But if you want pure sexiness, go in there and ask for Randy. Go into Rogues Gallery and ask for Randy, and tell him I sent you and that you came there for sexiness.
I think you probably. I think it's
Allison's shaking her head like, Jason.
I think you could probably do a lot worse than if you were going to try to kind of encapsulate the bar culture in Austin in one night. If you went down to do they still have the food trailers over on East 6th? If you went down
I think they do. Last time I was down there, they do. I'm not sure where the big food trailer scene is now because it's been shuffled around because an empty lot will get really popular here with food trailers. And then a hotel will buy it and they'll get scattered. So
right.
I'm thinking the food trailer scene might be kind of on the wane right now, but I'm not sure about that.
Well, if there are still ones over on E6 by the time you get here, you could, like I said, you could do an awful lot worse than going down to E6 Street, parking, going to the food trucks for dinner, and then going and just jumping around between the different crazy E6 bars because you're going to probably run into a bunch of different types of bars that you haven't seen anywhere else that are different than things that you've seen other places.
Yeah, a lot of dive bars over there.
Yeah, I hope you like dive bars quite a bit because that's what Austin, that's what also kind of all about.
We're good at that.
Yeah, we're good at shitty bars. And you know what? With that, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for listening. If you have questions, you can send them to mail@rageselect.com. That is mail@rageselect.com. This podcast coming to you every Sunday. Stay tuned. Let's see. This is be coming up after the live stream. Stay tuned tomorrow for a brand new dojo video. And other than that, we're done. Good night, everybody.
Excelsior.